Hi, my name is Colin Fitzgerald, and this is my senior project presentation. How many people my age know the song Surfin' Bird by the Trashmen? My family tells a story of me at 2 years old running into the kitchen to dance to that chaotic song from the early 60s. The drive of the beat was very compelling. This attraction to rhythm would become a common theme throughout my childhood and adolescence. My mother was a dancer and loved big band, swing, and soul classics, and my father loved to listen to rock music of the 90s while he worked in his office, so I was constantly surrounded by different styles of music. Around the time I was 14, I started listening more heavily to what drummers were doing in songs, and I would keep my eyes locked on the drummer whenever I went to a concert. And for my 15th birthday, I received my drum kit. I'm primarily a self-taught drummer, so when I got my kit, it was pretty bare bones, and it looked like that. I didn't know how to set it up properly or how to tune it. The only things I were able to play were simple rock beats from the few lessons I had with a drum teacher. I taught myself how to play by listening to songs I liked and trying to replicate what I heard. This is my drum kit now, and I'm much more proficient than I was 2 years ago. I know how to tune my drum kit to get a certain sound, and my technical ability is much more refined. My hard work and constant practice of my instrument has led me to music college, where I will be attending Musicians Institute in Hollywood, majoring in drum performance. Musicians Institute will provide me with lessons in proper studio work, as well as refining my musicianship overall and connecting me with other musicians. When it comes to music, or really any topic that I'm interested in, I'm very eager to learn as much as I can, and I'm very self-sufficient and self-motivated to get work done. Recently, I've been getting invested in learning different styles of music, including jazz, funk and soul, and R&B, and I've even picked up piano classes at PCC. I've learned the basics of most of these in a pretty short amount of time, but I know there's a lot more for me to learn. This year, I wrote a research paper about the effects of music on your brain and if playing music makes any changes to your brain. I also talk about music, intellect, and if there's any correlation to mental illness or substance abuse problems. For example, through my research, I was able to find a peer-reviewed neurological journal called Brain and Behavior that has found that drummers of many years have fewer but thicker fibers connecting the two halves of their brains, and that areas of the motor brain are more efficiently organized. Can I teach drums? How can I do it, and will I do it effectively? These were my main questions for my senior project. Another question I had for myself is, will I be able to teach drums effectively, and how can I do it during a pandemic? A few of my main goals were teaching someone the basics of drumming, learning something about myself and how well I can work with others who don't have a good understanding of drumming, and will I spark someone's interest in drumming, and can they carry that passion? This is my process of ideas, or how I came up with my senior project. My thoughts were between learning something new and complicated or teaching someone. I decided to teach because it's something I've never done before. My main deterrence from learning something difficult is being unfamiliar with editing software, and getting a clean recording for the drums is difficult. One major roadblock for my project was COVID. It stopped the possibility of teaching a group of friends how to play the drums, and it's difficult to haul a drum kit into a safe space that's well ventilated with reduced noise. I figured I'd move my drum kit into the garage for open air, but realized that it would be too loud for the neighbors. I figured I'd teach my sister instead because it seemed like the safest option. I needed to develop a lesson plan for myself so I knew what I was teaching and knew that I was doing it in the most effective way possible. So I researched many methods that other professionals used for teaching beginners, as well as using my own past experience of teaching myself how to play the drums. For the first week of my senior project, I first asked my sister to play anything that she knew and to just sit at the drum kit. She played a pretty broken and sloppy rock groove and held the drumsticks like you would hold silverware. I coached her on the proper ways to hold drumsticks, such as traditional and matched grip. I taught her how to sharpen up on the standard rock groove she was playing, and taught her a new one, which I like to call the Billie Jean beat. We'll go ahead and show you the rock groove that she first played for me.
Nice.
And I have what she was doing notated right here. and I'll show you the Billie Jean beat that I taught her. In the second week of my senior project, I had my sister practice the Billie Jean beat and make it less sloppy. I had her practicing her coordination between her foot and her hands to clean it up a bit more. This week, I also showed her a standard fill, which just consisted of 4 single strokes on the snare, top tom, and floor tom, and ending with a crash. So this is the improved Billie Jean beat. It's a lot faster and it's just overall cleaner than the first one. This is the fill that I had her practice. It was pretty good for playing it for just a couple of times. You can hear she hits the sticks on the rims, but it wasn't bad. Finally, for week 2, I quizzed her on drum vocabulary to see if she could keep up with a simple call and response of the different parts of the kit. It took a bit of practice, but eventually she got it. On the side here, I have bloopers of when we were practicing it, and then I have the completed one here, and I'll go ahead and play those for you.
Snare drum. Hi-hat. Floor tom.
One more time.
And here's the completed one.
Kick drum. Top tom. Hi-hat. Floor tom. Snare. Ride. Left crash. Right crash. Cowbell. Nice.
In week 3, I had her expand on the same 8th note pattern that we did with the Billie Jean beat, except I had her add an extra kick drum on the 3 and. She got it relatively quickly, but there was a lot of hesitation to add it to the mix. This week, I also introduced 3 essential drum rudiments to help her refine her technique and work on limb independence. Here's the Billie Jean beat again.
Doing the double kick here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here are the 3 rudiments that I introduced.
Okay, this is the single stroke. This is a paradiddle. This is a double stroke.
Nice job.
In week 4, I realized that I was running short on time and figured I'd end my senior project by teaching my sister something that she wanted to learn. She wanted to learn the standard jazz style, and I explained to her that it may be difficult for 2 reasons. Jazz drumming deals in polyrhythms, and it's my least developed genre of drumming, but I taught her the best I could with what limited time I had. We touched on the use of dynamics, and I showed her the spang-a-lang pattern with hi-hats on 2 and 4.
Go.
Week 5 was very similar to the last. I had her practice the jazz spang-a-lang and practice her coordination between her hi-hat. I also taught her basic comping on the snare drum that followed the hi-hats.
I'll try it again.
Nice.
One thing I learned from this project was what worked and what didn't in terms of teaching somebody and figuring out their learning style. I also learned the importance of time management and scheduling. Had I started this project earlier, we would have gotten much farther than we did. One thing I wish I did differently was figuring out what I wanted to do sooner, so I had more time to prepare to teach someone better. I felt that I ran out of material to teach due to a limited amount of time, and I could only touch on certain subjects before I had to move on. Did I achieve my goals for this project? I would say I have. I was able to successfully teach my sister the very basics of drumming, while also being able to explore genres of music that she was more interested in. I was surprised at how well she grasped the concept of each lesson. Thank you for watching my presentation. I had a lot of fun doing this project, and I hope you enjoyed watching the process.